During this edpuzzle, we are going to review the measures of central tendency. You learned this last year. They are mean, median, mode, and range. Measures of central tendency are the numbers that describe a set of data. So let's first do the mean. Another word for the mean is average. And that means you're going to add all the numbers in the data and divide by how many numbers there are. You're going to fill in the notes that you received in class as I go through it with you on the edpuzzle. So to find the mean of these numbers, we're going to add the numbers together. 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9. And we're going to divide by how many numbers are in this data, which is 5 numbers. We're going to add the numerator, and you get 30. Keep the denominator the same. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. So the mean of that data, or the average of that data, is 6. The second central tendency is median. Median is the number that's in the middle. You just have to be very careful. You must order the numbers from either least to greatest or greatest to least. You have to put the numbers in order before you find the number that's in the middle. So looking at the first example, the 5 cancels out the 13, the 7 cancels out the 13, and the median is 11. The second example, the numbers are already in order. The 5 cancels out the 15, the 7 cancels out the 13, and now we have 2 numbers in the middle. When there are 2 numbers in the middle, you have to find the average of those. So we're going to take the 10 plus the 12 and divide by 2, because there are 2 numbers. So we have 22 divided by 2, which is 11. Or this one you should be able to know off the top of your head, the number that is in between 10 and 12 is 11. So that is the median. One way to remember that the median is the middle, the M in median is the same as the M in middle, and the third letter is the D, which is the same as the third letter in middle. The only thing that changes is the E becomes an I. So the median is the middle. The next central tendency we will be discussing is the mode, which is the number that occurs the most. M-O in mode, M-O in most. So it's the one that occurs the most often. So in example 1, the number that occurs the most is 92. So that is the mode. No work is needed on this. In example 2, we have 2 modes. The number 35 occurs 2 times, and the number 89 occurs 2 times. So those are the mode. In example 3, there's no mode. Don't write 0, or we're going to think 0 is the mode. You can write none, or you can write no mode. And the last central tendency is the range. What is the range of the numbers in the data? It means how spread out are the numbers. So you take your highest number and you subtract the lowest number. And that tells you how spread out the numbers are, or the range of the numbers. Now let's practice. Find the mean, median, mode, and range of the following set of data. Well, in order to find the mean, you have to add up the numbers and divide by how many numbers are in the data. So 57 plus 12 plus 35 plus 22 plus 22 plus 122 over how many numbers are there in the data? 6. So now let's add the numerator. And we get 270. Keep the denominator the same. And when you divide those numbers, you get 45. So the mean of the data, or the average of the data, is 45. The median, first we have to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So we have a 12, 22, 22, 35, 57, and 122. I always recommend counting the data and make sure you have all the right numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have all the numbers there. The 12 cancels out the 122. The lowest cancels out the highest. And we have two numbers in the middle. So now we have to take the average of those two numbers. So we're going to add those two numbers together. And we're going to divide by 2 because there are two numbers. So we have 57 divided by 2, which is 28.5. So that is your median. That is the middle number. The mode, just look at the numbers and see what number occurs the most. It's easier to look at the numbers when they're written in order. And we notice that the number 22 occurs the most. And the range, you take the highest number and subtract the lowest number, and that gives you the range. We should see work for every problem except the mode. Now let's go over stem and leaf. First thing that makes it easier to create a stem and leaf is to organize the numbers by your 1s digits, your 10s digits, your 20s, your 30s, etc. So I have a 5, this is a 40, a 1, 47, this is a 20, a 1, 12, a 2, 27, a 1, a 2, 32, 30, 4, 5, 44, 7, 33, 38, and 23. Okay, now we're going to create a stem and leaf. So first we're going to label our columns, stem and leaf. We're going to start with our smallest numbers. Those are our single digits right here. So the stem is a 0, because those are 1s. So those are going to go in the leaf column. And you go from your smallest to your largest. We have 3 1s here. So I'm going to write 1, 1, 1. I then have a 2 and a 2. I then have a 4, a 5, a 5, and a 7. I can't squeeze it in. Next I have my 10s. The stem is a 1 and the leaf is a 2. And that takes care of that number. Next I have my 20s. I have 20, which is 2, 0. 23 comes next. The 2 is already there, so now I'm going to add the 3. And then I have the 7. So there's your 27. Next I have my 30s. The smallest number is 30. The 3 is your stem, the 0 is your leaf. 32 comes next. The 3 is already there, so I add the leaf of a 2. Then 3, and then 8. And the last one are my 40s. I have a 0, a 4, and a 7. Okay, from here, you just have to make sure you write a key You pick any number that's in your stem and leaf plot. I'm going to pick the number 12. So I'm going to write the 1, the bar that's in the middle, and then the 2, and that represents the number 12. And that's your stem and leaf. Now let's do a practice problem using a stem and leaf. This stem and leaf talks about students' test scores. How many students scored less than 80 points? All of these numbers are less than 80 points. 66, 70, 75, 77, and 78. So how many students is that? 5 students. B, how many students scored at least 90? At least 90 means 90 or more than 90. So that's a 90, 92, 99, and 100. So that's 4 students. Now let's do some more practice using stem and leaves. Example 1, which statement is not true? Most of the plants are less than 20 inches. Well, if you look, all of these are less than 20 inches. That is most of the plants, so that is true. The median is 11 inches. Well, in order to do the median, you could either write down all the numbers in your data, or you can cross them off straight from the stem and leaf. I'm going to cross them off from the stem and leaf. The smallest number cancels the biggest number. The smallest cancels the biggest. The smallest cancels the biggest. Smallest cancels the biggest. 6 cancels 15. 8 cancels 11. 9 cancels 11. And this is your number in the middle. The number is 10. B says the median is 11, so that is the one that's not true. We're going to keep on going though. Again, to find the median, you could have done it the way I just did it, or you could have written the numbers out the long way. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Now the next stem has a 1, so that 1 goes in front of all the leaves. 10, 11, 11, 15, 17, 22, 25, and 36. And then you can sit and cancel it out this way if that helps you. You will still get 10 as your median. So the range is 35. Remember the range, you take the highest data, which is 36, and subtract the lowest data, which is 1. So the range is 35. The height that occurs the most often is 11. Well, if you look at all the numbers when I wrote it out, 11 does occur the most amount of time. So that is the mode. Therefore, B is the only one that is not true. The last problem, use the stem and leaf to answer the following questions. How many data values are in the set? Just add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 datas are in the set. Next question. What is the least value? Here is your smallest value, 0, 4, which is the same as 4. What is your greatest value? The greatest value is at the very bottom, 42. What is the median? Again, you can write all your numbers out the long way. I'm going to do it straight from the stem and leaf. The smallest cancels the biggest. 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 And 24 is your median. The 2 and the 4, 24. Again, if you don't understand it that way, you can write it out the long way and cross it off from there. What is the range? Take your highest number and subtract your lowest number. And you get 38. Is 32 in the set? I have a 30 and then I have a 36. So no, 32 is not in the set of data. You are now to do the homework on this, which is the very back of the packet, page 517. You are to do numbers 2 through 10 even. So your homework is page 517, numbers 2 through 10 even. If you have any questions, we will go over it in the next